Coverage you can count on. This is Way 31 News, midday.
We had a cold start this morning, but tomorrow morning will be even colder. I'll have all the details for you coming up.
Plus, a look at how the Tennessee Valley Authority is planning to handle the increase of people now trying to stay warm. And President Trump wasting no time moving forward with his agenda, signing a wave of executive actions and orders on his first day back in office. We have all those details. Thanks so much for joining us for Way 31 News at midday. I'm Tori Dunnan. We have a lot to talk about, but the big story, it is the weather. It is so cold out there. Here's Storm Tracker meteorologist Amber Kulick. And Amber, it's going to get even colder?
It is, yeah, especially tomorrow morning. Now, we're looking at overnight lows tonight in the single digits across the Tennessee Valley. So that is pipe bursting weather for sure. Make sure you're using all your cold weather precautions as we head into tomorrow morning. Now, the good news is after tomorrow morning, we will slowly start to warm up as we head towards the weekend. Here's what we're looking at right now in Decatur. It's cloudy and it will stay cloudy through the rest of the day today. Temperatures, they're still cold. We're at 24 with a north wind at 10 miles per hour. Check out that dew point though, 4. So if your lips are feeling really dry, that's why. Gonna need that extra chapstick throughout the day today. Now here's a look at your temperatures and your feel like temperatures. There's that 24 in Decatur, but with that north wind, it feels like 14 outside, 23 in Huntsville, but it feels like 12 degrees right now. And let's take a look across the southeast because I showed you this morning. We had snow falling in Louisiana. Well, the snow has made its way into Mississippi and even Alabama. I saw some pictures out of Mobile where they're seeing snow down there as well. For us, way too dry for any snow to fall across our area. As we head into the lunch hour, temperatures will stay in the 20s. That's where we will end the day. But like I said, as we move into the rest of the week, we will start to see our temperatures warm. By the weekend, we'll be at 50. But rain is back in the forecast by the end of the weekend. I'll have all those details for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, Tennessee Valley Authority leaders say they are more than prepared to keep the power on as people crank the heat to keep warm. The TVA says it invested more than $430 million into its systems last year to make sure there were no rolling blackouts this winter.
Fleet can serve in a capacity to make sure that it manages the day in and day out fluctuations of human consumption. And we also have the peaking ability to be able to make sure that on those cold winter mornings, we have reliable and resilient energy that can serve for the valley.
TVA leaders say if you'd like to help save energy, you can set your thermostat to 68 degrees and also unplug unused devices. Well, these temperatures will be around, as Amber said, for a few more days, so the warming centers are open to help you out. Here's a look at some of the centers opening all across the Tennessee Valley. You can see the full list on our website, waytv.com. There's also information on transportation if you do need a ride to one as well. Meantime, in the Shoals, Tuscumbia police are giving away free emergency blankets to anyone who needs to stay warm. All you have to do is show up at the police department and ask for one of those blankets. The department is open all day. Don't forget to download our Storm Tracker weather app. With it, you'll get the latest updates on any changing weather conditions in your area. All you have to do is scan the QR code you see on your screen. The app is free for all of its devices. Well, we're looking live now at the White House here. This after a pretty busy morning and a busy first day in office for President Donald Trump. He kicked off his return to the White House with speeches, pageantry, and more than 200 executive actions. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest from Washington.
This morning, President Trump started his first full day in office following tradition, attending a prayer service at the National Cathedral. Behind the desk at the Oval Office yesterday, Trump pardoned approximately 1,500 January 6 defendants, nearly everyone convicted of their actions that day, including those who attacked law enforcement officers.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon. Yes. Full pardon.
Overnight, supporters of January 6 rioters celebrating at the D.C. jail, at least 2 released so far.
Thank you, President Trump. We're coming home.
Craig Sicknick, the brother of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died after he was attacked on January 6th, tells ABC News that Trump's pardons are a betrayal of decency. Trump making good on some campaign promises, signing more than 200 executive actions, unraveling the work of his predecessor. He also withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord and the World Health Organization, rescinded diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and ended federal recognition of transgender identity. On immigration, Trump declared an end to birthright citizenship, which is already facing challenges in court as it is protected by the 14th Amendment.
We think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know.
It's one of several new lawsuits filed against the administration's executive actions. Now, later today, Trump is scheduled to meet with Senate Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Meantime, we caught up with people headed to the Trump store in Scottsboro to celebrate. The store's owners say they've seen a surge both in first-time and repeat customers over the last week. They say people are coming in not just to buy inauguration gear, but to share their excitement, they say, about a new president.
The door and almost shout, "Thank God you're here." I mean, it's crazy. And they feel good, and everybody feels good.
The store's owners say they plan to open an additional location in Fort Payne and Coleman some point in the future. Well, content creators on social media app TikTok are now calling on the U.S. government to do something to prevent the app from getting banned. A new executive order signed yesterday gives the app more time to find a U.S. buyer. Way 31 spoke with one North Alabama content creator who has more than 2 million followers on this app. He says that he and millions of other people make a living off of it, and they hope a potential buyer won't ruin what they've worked hard to build.
But if somebody's going to buy it, I hope they buy it with some sense and they don't change everything about it to where it's not even recognizable, because that's why people fell in love with TikTok in the first place. If you take something and change it to where it's no longer recognizable, there's no point in having it.
At last check, TikTok has yet to be sold. Well, nursing moms in Alabama will no longer be required to show up for jury duty. The state Supreme Court issued that order on Friday. This after one mom says she had to bring her baby to the courtroom. She says a judge threatened to call DHR on her in front of hundreds of people. She also says a court clerk told her she couldn't breastfeed her child.
The HR threat has gotten a lot of people fired up, but for me, for someone to tell me how I should feed my child when, I mean, the government doesn't have a say in that. And, you know, a lot of mothers know the ins and outs of feeding a baby. It's just not that simple.
Alabama state lawmakers are expected to discuss a bill on this topic during the upcoming legislative session. Well, we could soon learn if Decatur City Council leaders will raise prices for visitors at Point Mallard. The city's Park and Recreation Board voted to endorse a $10 increase for season passes and a $2 increase for daily rates last week. The council will also consider rates for the new event center set to open this summer. They're holding a city council meeting tonight at 6. Make sure you stick around after the break. We have a live interview and we'll discuss the details of a show coming to the VBC Playhouse called The Girl on the Train. Also coming up, the historic winter storm now taking shape, set to slam parts of the U.S.
Speaking of that winter storm, there it is across the Gulf Coast. In just a couple of minutes, I'll have what you can expect across the Tennessee Valley coming up.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching Way 31 News, midday.
Welcome back, everyone. There is a great show that's coming to the Rocket City, and it's based on a best-selling novel that was even made into a film a few years ago. Perhaps people have read or seen this. You can start seeing The Girl on the Train this Friday at the VBC Playhouse. Here to share some more info about the show, one of the stars of this show, Joy White. You play Detective Inspector Gaskill, right? All right, so tell us a little bit about that. Let's start there.
She has so many different suspects. She deals with everybody in the play, and everybody is suspicious. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's a fun part to play because, like, I mean, she kind of is focusing on one, but everybody could have done it, you know? So it's a real whodunit because there's so many different, everybody plays different parts that are, well, suspicious. I keep using that word, but you know.
Those are always fun to see, though. We also have with us the Theater Huntsville's marketing director, Larkin Plax. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about the show and kind of the excitement bringing it here to Huntsville.
So we're really excited. We're the first ones kind of in this area to bring this show. One of the great things about this one is the way we're using projections. So we're using a lot of lights and kind of sound to build some of the suspense. Instead of a lot of our usual shows where you have a big set and that kind of tells the story, we're using darkness and visuals to kind of help build the suspense. Instead of like a big giant physical train that you see, we're using darkness and pictures of different moving trains and the way we light them to kind of build the eeriness and the creepiness and show you Rachel, the kind of the girl, her state of mind, and build that suspense.
So while I have you on this part, tell us a little bit about how much of a role you play into bringing in shows to Huntsville.
So one of the roles that the Theater Huntsville staff is to pick the shows that we bring. So we try to have a slate of shows that are kind of as diverse as our community is. So we typically do about 5 shows per season, including at least 1 musical. And we want to have a good mix so that not only our actors get a good variety of roles, but so our community sees themselves on the shows and on the stage.
And as far as this goes, what other types of productions have you been part of, and what are you excited about this one in particular?
With Theater Huntsville, I've done 2 shows. I played a bridesmaid in Always a Bridesmaid several years ago, and then I played Truvy in Still Magnolias. Then this is so much darker than either of those, and so that's a fun, I like all of it. And so the fact that this one is dark and it's not depressing, but it's just, you get really invested in these characters, and the fact that the scenery is very sparse, and so you're really invested in the characters and the actors, and that's really cool.
And real quick, I'll leave y'all with this last question. Any surprises for the audience?
Well, yeah.
You don't want to ruin it, right?
Yeah, but definitely, yes. You'll be like, wait, no, this one, no, wait, no, that one. You know, I mean, it keeps you guessing.
And we do want to stress that this show deals with a lot of adult themes. So this one is really strongly recommended for our adult audiences. And you can learn more on our website if you have really specific questions about what those adult themes might be.
Yeah, let's go over the details of the show. So you know, the show will be at the VBC Playhouse this Friday, January 24th to February 2nd. You can go to theaterhsv.org to get your tickets, or for more information, you can find that all there. And as you were mentioning, you're saying this kind of deals with a lot of adult topics. So perhaps if you have questions about whether or not your kids should be going to it, check it out there and ask your questions. It sounds exciting. I definitely want to check it out myself. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope you come.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll be looking forward to it. We'll be right back with much more. People all across the Deep South are now huddling up at home as a historic winter storm bears down on the region. Here's more on that.
This morning, a winter storm stretching from the Rockies to the Northeast is creating treacherous conditions for tens of millions of Americans. Slippery roads causing this pileup near Grand Rapids, Michigan. More than a dozen vehicles involved. Wind chills in the Midwest this morning dropping to 45 below zero. But the big concern? Heavy snow and ice spreading across the Deep South. Emergencies declared from Louisiana to Georgia. New Orleans preparing for something it hardly ever sees, 1 to 3 inches of snow.
I'm told that this hasn't happened in our city, documented definitely since 1963, but it also has the potential to exceed anywhere from the 1900s, I believe.
Airports in Houston closed. Thousands of flights canceled or delayed due to the storm.
This is a serious Arctic blast. It's dangerous. It's life-threatening.
We don't do cold and we don't do ice well.
Meanwhile, in the West, severe fire danger today. Winds could hit 100 miles per hour in parts of Southern California.
Flying embers from a wildfire can destroy homes for over a mile away. Taking the necessary measures to prepare your home can help increase the chance of survival.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Now, Wave 31 Storm Tracker meteorologist Amber Kulick with 31 triple Doppler.
So some of those areas are already seeing that snow come in, right?
Oh yeah, it has been snowing most of the morning in Louisiana.
Wow.
And I'm seeing pictures out of Mobile, Alabama, where they're seeing measurable snow. And it's like, wow, where was that when I lived down there?
Well, you know, you got it last week, so.
It's true, they can keep it down there now. This is our present to you down south, enjoy it.
Yeah, but we're dealing with just horribly cold temps.
We are, yeah. And tomorrow morning is gonna be disrespectful. I'm saying it now because it's looking rough.
I like it when you say that.
Hey,
that's a good way of saying it.
Disrespectful. Just wait till you see these numbers. Let's take a look outside right now at our Wave 31 Skycam network. Here's what we're dealing with so far. So we're in the 20s across the Tennessee Valley. We're cloudy, and the cloud cover is actually associated with that winter storm to our south. This is all we're going to get, though. We're not going to see any snow across the Tennessee Valley today. And as far as temperatures are concerned, we're going to stay in the 20s as well. We do have that north wind still blowing, and it's making it feel a whole lot colder than it actually is outside. 23 right now in Huntsville, feeling like 12 degrees. 24 in Decatur, feeling like 14 degrees. 21 in Moulton, feeling like 14 degrees as well. So you get what I'm saying here. It's very cold outside, and it's going to stay cold as we head through the rest of the day. Winds will stay with us as well, and that's going to make it feel like the teens all day long, even though our temperatures, they'll make it right around that 30-degree mark. So yet another day we're going to spend below freezing. Here's your high temperatures for this afternoon. 29 in Huntsville, 28 in Decatur, 29 in both Muscle Shoals and Scottsboro, and 27 in Fort Payne. By tomorrow, we will finally make it above freezing. But before we get there, we have to make it through tonight. Here is your overnight lows. And remember, I said disrespectful. This is very disrespectful. Make sure you leave the faucet dripping tonight because you will need to for sure. 31 triple Dopplers, quiet and dry across our area. But there is snow showing up to the south. Like I said, I'm seeing pictures out of Mobile where there's already about 2 inches of snow on the ground. Dothan will be next to see that measurable snow. It is just too dry across our area to see anything like that. But check this out. Winter storm warning stretching nearly 1,300 miles of the Gulf Coast. We just don't see this. So enjoy it if you are seeing the snow today. Here's what we're looking at through the rest of the day. Snow will continue to move towards the Wiregrass region in Alabama. They'll see the snow this afternoon. For us, we stay dry, clearing out as we head into the overnight hours tonight. That's really going to help those temperatures fall off. And then by tomorrow, we'll see the sunshine and a little bit warmer than we've been over the past couple of days, and clouds return by your Thursday. So for us, we stay quiet, and we're going to be looking forward to the warmer weather. 50 by your Sunday, 52 by Monday, And that's when we'll welcome the rain back into the forecast. Our next weather maker moves in later in the day on Sunday. Looks like it'll stick with us for most of the day on Monday. We'll be way too warm in those 50s, though, to worry about any snow. And here's some good news for you as we head towards the end of the month. We like to see orange on this map. That means we could see above average temperatures. And your 10-day forecast showing the chance of that. We're back into the 50s as we head into next week. Couple of chances of rain here or there. I'll take the rain and the 50s over the single-digit overnight lows that we will see tonight. A little bit longer, Tori, and we'll finally be out of these cold temperatures.
So, last night I went to bed and I realized I didn't drip the faucets. Ooh. And I sat there thinking, should I get up and do it? Should I not? I did. But I almost didn't do it.
Well, you will definitely need to.
Yes. Everyone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, coming